Hello, today I'm going to be taking you through how to use the adventure planning Notion template. So first things first, when you click the link in the digital document, it will bring you to this page here. At the top right, you will see this duplicate button, and just click that and it'll duplicate it to your Notion. So this is now in your Notion. So if I click my sidebar here, it'll be down here. So what I can do is I can go through and I can start editing it. The idea with this template is that you can use it for each trip that you're going on. So that being said, what I would recommend doing right off the hop is editing this template exactly how you want it as a base for each of your trips. So there is some information here at the top that you won't need going forward. So what I would recommend doing is deleting all of that and removing whatever information that you're going to have to replace. Once you've edited it based on what you think your needs are for your trips, I would go into my sidebar here, click the three dots, and duplicate it. I would come back to this one and I would probably label it, I would maybe keep template in there so that I always have the base template to duplicate from. Because if I have 5 trips that I'm going on this year, I'm going to want to come back to this base and duplicate it and then change that based on what trip I'm going on. So in order to have this as is with all of the information in it, I would leave this as your main template and duplicate from here for each trip that you're going on. Because again, there's a lot of information in here that you won't need for every trip. For example, we have a canoe trip pack list and a backpacking trip pack list. You're going to want to delete one or the other based on what type of trip you're going on. So I'll just walk you through basically how to use this template and the information you can find in there and how to customize it for your needs. So to start, right off the hop, I've added some cover pages and some information in here. You can change the cover page here, and you can change this icon on every page. So if you want to customize it to look a certain way. But basically right at the top, you'll see their trip overview. So how many days are you going on your trip, trip distance, total portages, so on and so forth. You can add to this by just clicking the plus sign if there's something that you'd like to add. And you can move anything around. You'll see the 6 dots here next to each section. That's how you grab it and move it. So if I don't really want this picture here, I want it maybe in between here, I drag it and drop it. I'm just going to click undo and bring that back. So just to give you an example of how you can customize it, you really just drag and drop things where you need them. So we'll start here with your trip info. This will take you to a new page, your itinerary page. It is a spreadsheet, as you can see, and this is where you can easily add in your information. So I would add in all of our travel days on either end of the trip, just so we have a better idea of how long the trip is going to be. But you have your travel date, July 11th, how far your travel is, where you're going to be going. You can totally customize this spreadsheet. You can add in new columns if you want. You just click the plus sign here and it will open up a list of options for you. So you can select from that options and you can continue to customize from there. And if there's something you don't find as necessary, you can simply just click it and delete the property. So totally customizable. I've also added a different view for you. So if you want to see what this looks like in a calendar, you just hit calendar and you can scroll over to the month and there you go. So there's your travel days. You can also change the view. So if you want just a quick overview, click calendar, edit view, and you can actually see which properties are shown there. So maybe I want to see how far we're traveling each day and the link to where we're actually going to be. And it will show that there for you. And if you need to add more days, you just hit new at the bottom here and just keep adding. Any notes can always be added to the bottom of any page. And just a side note, for any spreadsheet, if you just click open here, you can also add information into each row. So if I know that we have flights on this day, flights booked. I could even go as far as attaching the actual flight itinerary right into this section in the spreadsheet. And we will go back to the main page. Meal planning. So each page is fairly similar. You've got a spreadsheet with different views. So this spreadsheet is broken down by day. So you have, day 1, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You might want to add some snacks in there. And then I have the different views here. So by meal. So just so you have, 5 breakfasts, you have 5 lunches, 5 dinners, and then you have your snacks. And then same thing by day. You can break it down by day 1, 2, and 3, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for each one. At the bottom here, I've added your shopping list. So you can actually go through and just hit enter and add whatever you need to add. And then over here, I've added a section for your recipes. So if there are particular recipes that you're interested in trying or running it by your group mates, you can just link it here. So you can just copy and paste a website link right in there, or you can actually add a file. So if it's your recipe and you have it in a PDF format, you can just click plus and then file, and then you can actually upload it here. There is an upload limit of 50 megabytes for the free version of Notion, so I recommend adding it to a Google Drive folder and embedding the link to the actual document in the Google Drive folder. Okay, we're gonna go back to the main page. We've got your group details, pretty self-explanatory here, all important information to know about your trip mates, because of course you need to know if they have any medical conditions to be aware of, allergies, if they have an EpiPen, you need to know where they're gonna be keeping it on them on the trip, and of course emergency contact information. One really cool thing, as you might notice, at the bottom I've said leave a copy of this information with someone that is not going on the trip with you. If something happens and they need to know the name of everybody that's on your trip and how to contact their emergency contacts. A really easy way to do that is right before you leave for your trip, just click these top 3 buttons at the top here, and you can actually hit export. And it will export this page into a nice little PDF document, print it off, leave it with a family member or a friend. Back to the main page, and I'll try to go through the rest of it fairly quickly. Expenses, pretty self-explanatory, who paid for what, who owes who. You can even add a receipt in there. Same thing, you can upload it or you can embed a link if you upload it to a Google Drive folder or Dropbox, whichever platform you use. Then we've got your contacts here. This one might not be necessary for each trip. I would say this one's probably more necessary for bigger trips, like you're flying in somewhere, you have an outfitter outfitting the whole thing. You need to, contact the tourism board, whatever it may be. There's your contacts. And then your packing checklists. So pretty self-explanatory. If you're going on a canoe trip, here's your canoe tripping pack list. If you're taking your kids, there's some extra kids gear for you. And of course, if it's backpacking, there's your backpacking. So I would duplicate this, and if I'm going backpacking, I would just right off the hop delete the canoe trip packing list, and if I'm not bringing my kids, delete the kids packing list, just to keep everything nice and organized. So we'll just hop into one just so you can get an idea here. It's all broken down by category. Again, go through, delete things that maybe you don't feel is necessary to bring with you. These are all suggestions. I have linked to certain products that, maybe it's a brand that we really particularly prefer, or otherwise there are a few Mech affiliate links and Amazon affiliate links in there as well. I put the to-do list here on the side. Again, you can move this around however you think it looks best. So this is your to-do list. You can select who is in charge of what. So if you click the title here, edit property, you can go in and actually edit the names. So change this based on who you're tripping with. You can actually go in and delete them or rename them. Due dates, details, any contact information, maybe you're working with someone to get something done. And then I've added a calendar view. So, okay, we should have the campsites booked by this Friday. Easy to see in a calendar. And then your tasks by name. So if you just want to see your own tasks and nobody else's, you can toggle that as well. Important documents, I thought this might be nice to upload anything: fishing permits, flight itineraries, contracts, liability waivers, whatever you have. You don't want to search for them in your inbox, upload them right here. Everybody can access them. Notes. If you want to jot something down quickly, this is the spot to do it. And just so you know, in any section of this entire spreadsheet, you can tag a group member. If I want to ask Sally what she thinks about the lasagna recipe that I want to make, I would literally just hit @ and start typing Sally. And of course here, if they've already been invited into the database, their name will pop up. You select their name, and then when they log into their Notion, they'll see a notification and they can click on it and it'll take them right to the page. So you can actually use this almost as a messenger tool, and it updates in real time. So any changes I make here will automatically update on their end as well. And then down at the bottom is just some planning resources. So maybe there's a link to a trip report that you have that you want to add in there, or the maps that you want to use, or a guidebook, whatever it may be. You can add them right in there. So it's pretty straightforward, 100% customizable. You can add or remove anything you want. I will give you an example actually of adding something just very quickly so you can get an idea. Literally just click anywhere you can type. If you hit the /, it'll give you a bunch of options based on what you want to add. So if you want to add a heading, there's heading 1, 2, and 3. They're all different sizes. If you want to add a new table, you can do that. Maybe I want to add another little, maybe I want to add another table. Okay, table example. I would just grab the 6 dots and move it around. As you move it around, you'll see a blue line pop up, which is showing you where it will drop. And again, if I want to scroll all the way up to the top and I bring it all the way over here, I can make a new column. The blue line is now vertical. If I drop it there, there's a new column, and I can adjust that column size as well. I can adjust this column size. Maybe I want that picture nice and big. Now, to share it with your friends, just simply hit share at the top and type in their email address. It will ask you if you want them to join your workspace. Just hit skip for now. It will just basically share this template into a shared Notion. If it's housed under your Notion, they're going to have their own Notion, and then they'll have the option to switch over into yours, and that's where they're going to see this Notion template. So that's about it. Pretty straightforward, totally customizable. I hope that you find it helpful in planning your trips. And if there's any questions, please feel free to send me an email. And happy tripping.